You're listening to Ragebreed, Mind, Body and Spirit on Ragebreed Radio.
Welcome back to the Ragebreed Mind, Body, and Spirit podcast. Today, we're talking about something raw. Something that leaves scars deeper than people realize. Something that destroys trust, destabilizes identity, and fractures the nervous system. Cheating. Not just what it is, but what it does, psychologically, emotionally, physically. This isn't about shaming people. It's about understanding trauma, boundaries, and why betrayal can feel like a form of psychological injury. Let's get into it. What cheating actually breaks. Cheating isn't just talking to someone else. It's not a mistake. It's not just attention. Cheating breaks three core human needs. Safety, attachment, identity. When someone cheats, they shatter the sense of predictability. Suddenly the person you trusted becomes a threat to your well-being. Your body goes into fight or flight. Your brain gets flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Your nervous system becomes hypervigilant. It's not overreacting. It's biology responding to danger.
The emotional trauma. When someone cheats, you don't just lose the relationship. You lose confidence, security, self-worth, the version of reality you believed in. Cheating creates what psychologists call a trauma bond rupture. It leaves you questioning. Was anything real? Was I not enough? What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I chosen? It creates an emotional earthquake inside you. And often, the person who cheated doesn't even understand the depth of the damage they caused.
Gaslighting and minimizing. Many victims of cheating experience secondary trauma from how the cheater responds. They may minimize, become defensive, flip blame, say you're too sensitive, pretend it wasn't that bad, blame your reactions instead of their actions. This gaslighting can be more damaging than the cheating itself, because now you're hurt and doubting your own reality.
The shame response, and why it's dangerous. People who cheat often carry secret shame, but instead of repairing the damage, they avoid it. That avoidance looks like running away, refusing accountability, acting cold, making excuses, delaying actions that would rebuild trust. But their shame does not outweigh your suffering. Your healing matters. Your safety matters. Your mental health matters. You are not responsible for protecting their ego.
The long-term psychological effects. Cheating can trigger anxiety, depression, PTSD symptoms, hypervigilance, distrust in future partners, body image issues, difficulty bonding. The brain literally rewires around trauma. It learns. Love is unsafe. Closeness equals danger. Emotional intimacy leads to pain. This is why cheating isn't just cheating. It's a psychological wound.
How to heal. Healing doesn't come from pretending you're okay. It comes from 1. Accountability from the partner who betrayed you. Not excuses. Not avoidance. Not half-truths. Accountability. Consistent actions. Repairing what they broke. 2. Emotional safety. You need calm, honesty, transparency, and predictable behavior. 3. Boundaries. Real ones. Not don't do it again, but this is what happens if you violate my safety again.
4. Rebuilding identity. Cheating makes you question your worth. Healing reminds you. You were always enough. You were never the problem. Their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. 5. Support. Therapy, communities, spiritual practices, journaling, rage expression, whatever helps you reclaim your power.
To anyone listening who has been betrayed, you are not dramatic. You are not weak. You're not overthinking. You're traumatized, and that is valid. You didn't deserve the pain. You didn't create the betrayal. You didn't push them away. Someone made a selfish decision that caused psychological harm. You deserve honesty, loyalty, and safety.
Why people who cheat often sabotage the very relationships they want to keep. This episode isn't about excusing behavior. It's about understanding the psychology behind it so we can recognize the patterns, protect ourselves, and heal from the damage caused. Cheating isn't just about sex. Often, it's about fear, shame, avoidance, and emotional programming that started long before the relationship began. Let's break it down.
Cheating isn't always about desire, it's often about fear. Many people assume cheating equals wanting someone else. But for a large percentage of people, cheating is actually a fear response, a defense mechanism, an escape route, a way of avoiding intimacy, a way of avoiding accountability. A lot of cheaters don't cheat because the relationship is bad. They cheat because they don't feel good enough for the relationship they have. This leads us to the core pattern. The self-sabotage cycle. People with deep emotional wounds, insecure attachment, or trauma often do this. Find someone wonderful, someone safe, loving, deep. Feel unworthy of that love. Panic internally. Create chaos, distraction, or distance. Sabotage the relationship before the relationship can reject them. It's backwards, but it's real. Their brain says, "I'm scared you'll abandon me, so I'll do something that guarantees it. So at least I'm in control of the loss." It's protection, but it destroys them and their partner in the process.
What self-sabotaging cheaters actually feel? Most people imagine the cheater feeling powerful, desired, in control. But many feel shame, self-loathing, emptiness, fear, panic, a need for validation, a need to escape emotional responsibility. They chase short-term dopamine because they don't know how to handle real love, real intimacy, real accountability. They feel too seen in a healthy relationship. So they run, not physically, but emotionally, into someone who requires nothing of them. Someone easy. Someone surface level. Someone who won't demand growth.
Why they sabotage the person who loves them most. This is the paradox. They cheat on the person they love. Because the person they love is the one they feel most vulnerable with. Healing energy is confronting. Being adored is confronting. Being believed in is confronting. If someone grew up in chaos, love feels uncomfortable. If someone grew up with rejection, stability feels unrealistic. If someone grew up in shame, affection feels undeserved. So they subconsciously push away the person they admire, the person they feel safest with, the person who represents the best version of themselves. Because staying means they have to face their flaws. Cheating lets them run from them.
What they don't expect, consequences. Here's the twist. Self-sabotage gives temporary relief, but long-term consequences. Guilt, damaged trust, loss of the person they love if the person cheated on walk away, loss of stability, emotional fragmentation, depression, a collapse of identity. Many regret it instantly. Others only regret it when the person they love finally walks away. But the core truth is, self-sabotage doesn't protect them. It destroys the very thing they were trying to keep.
Can people like this change? Yes, but not without accountability, consistency, emotional therapy or development, removing toxic connections, cutting off validation sources, learning new relationship skills, being honest with themselves. People can heal, but only if they stop running from their own pain. The first step is realizing the pattern. The second step is taking responsibility. The third step is acting differently, consistently.
For anyone who's been hurt by this, if you've been cheated on by someone who self-sabotages, you're not enough. You're not lacking. You didn't fail. You were too good for a person who didn't know how to receive good love. And whether the relationship heals or not, you deserved honesty. You deserved consistency. You deserved loyalty. And you still do.
Healing begins with brutal honesty, not romance. A lot of people want to skip straight to, "I'm sorry. Let's move forward. Can't we just be happy again?" No. Real repair begins with truth, not flowers. Honesty includes what happened, why it happened, what emotional wound led to it, What pattern was operating? What they were running from? And most importantly, how do I make sure I never put you in that pain again? Without honesty, healing collapses.
The betrayed partner needs safety, not apologies. When someone has been cheated on, the nervous system goes into shock, hypervigilance, anxiety, mistrust, fight or flight. Apologies don't fix that. Safety fixes that. Safety looks like consistency, transparency, accountability, predictable behavior, no secret conversations, no hiding, emotional availability. This is the phase where the betrayer must show, not tell.
Accountability must be full, not selective. To repair the relationship, the person who cheated must own the action, own the reasons, own the consequences, own the healing work, own the rebuilding. There is no blame shifting, minimizing. You made me do it. Excuses. Disappearing during conflict. Silent treatment. Emotional avoidance. You cannot heal a relationship you refuse to take responsibility for. True accountability looks like: I hurt you. I recognize it. I'm repairing it. I'm committed to change.
The cheater must end all secondary attachments immediately. Rebuilding cannot happen if side women/men still exist. Emotional affairs continue. The backup supply is still active. There is attention seeking from others. There are secret messages. Social media connections stay hidden. To rebuild trust, they must block, delete, remove temptation, end contact fully, show evidence of transparency. Not because they're controlled, but because trust requires proof after betrayal. Until this is done, healing cannot begin.
The betrayed partner needs space to feel everything. If someone has been cheated on, they will feel anger, sadness, confusion, numbness, insecurity, questioning, trauma responses. And all of this is normal. Healing means the betrayed partner is allowed to ask questions, express pain, have bad days, rebuild at their own pace, receive reassurance without shame. The relationship cannot heal if the person who cheated wants instant forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't a switch, it's a journey.
Rebuilding requires new relationship skills. Cheating often exposes weaknesses in communication, emotional regulation, conflict resolution, attachment styles, boundaries, self-worth. Repairing the relationship means learning healthier communication, better coping mechanisms, new ways to deal with stress, honest emotional sharing, conflict without cruelty, asking for needs before seeking escape. This is where coaching, therapy, or guided exercises help massively.
The couple must build a new relationship, not revive the old one. The old relationship is gone. A new one must be created. New agreements, new boundaries, new behaviors, new expectations, new emotional routines, new commitment levels. The relationship after cheating is either fire emoji, stronger, deeper, more conscious, or skull emoji. It collapses under the same patterns. It depends on the effort of both people.
Signs a relationship can heal after cheating. It can heal if the cheater is consistent, transparency is ongoing, emotional work is real, triggers are respected, communication is honest, the betrayed partner feels safe again. Both want the relationship genuinely. Old habits die and new ones form. Both partners grow emotionally. Healing is possible, but it is earned, not given.
Healing after cheating isn't simple, but it is possible with honesty, accountability, consistency, transparency, emotional maturity. If you're in this chapter, remember, you deserve safety. You deserve healing. You deserve a relationship built on truth, not trauma.
You are listening to Ragebreed, Mind, Body and Spirit on Ragebreed Radio. Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed the first section of Ragebreed, Mind, Body and Spirit, and this is to do with cheating. So let's get into it, shall we? So a lot of you have come forward and told me that they've been really looking forward to this podcast because some of you have been cheated on or have cheated and have found it really difficult to let go of the guilt. Now, why do people cheat? We've seen there that sometimes it's about not feeling enough for the person that you're with. You could be in a completely happy relationship with the person that you love and mirrors you and loves you, but sometimes the grass is always greener on the other side. And so what happens is sometimes when people become very selfish, they want to have their cake and eat it. So it might not be even anything that's wrong with the person that they've selected. It's just because of sheer selfishness and also just giving in to temptation. Now, arguably, some people say that in open relationships, both parties have the freedom to do that. But this is when it gets abusive. It's only okay to do that if both parties have the same understanding. So basically, both parties are able to explore, meaning that one person isn't being controlled or taken advantage out of. Now, say if there is a person who you're in a relationship with, whether it's online or in person or whatever, and that person believes it's okay for themselves to be open, but doing it behind the other person's back. Now, that obviously is cheating. And number two, it's not been agreed by both parties. So while the person believes that he's entitled to or she is entitled to have various different affairs, it's not right if the other person is being loyal. Okay, so let's talk about this. In certain situations, sometimes what happens is you're dealing with an avoidant who is terrified of losing you, so sabotages it before it has a chance for the other person to sabotage. Okay, and that sometimes happens because it's about feeling vulnerable and feeling humiliated that they're afraid of. So what happens is they sabotage it before it even has a chance to grow, and that makes that person feel in control, that there's no way of that person hurting him if they sabotage the bond to begin with. So it means that they get with people they're not bothered about because it's easier when they leave. Now, certainly, obviously, you guys know my situation where I'm dealing with an avoidant personality that I'm in love with, and he's in love with me, but sadly, he self-sabotages, and we're obviously working through this. But this podcast is to help people that are in a similar situation, because it's not that the love isn't there. The love is there. It's just fear, and sometimes fear becomes so great that it makes you believe that you're not enough, that the person isn't good enough for you, and then you go into this kind of stage where you reflect, and I think it really is a big deal for an avoidant to start to step up and do the right thing, because they've had a pattern of sabotaging bonds in the past, which is very abusive to the women, but also very abusive to their own, reputation as well, because they're constantly living in fear. So everything is, what if I lose her, so instead of doing right by me, or, they end up getting with sort of shallow connections to sabotage, to try and kill the love bond, so they feel in control. And that's pretty much what's happened with me. Now, we are working through it. So this is what I want to say to people. You can choose an easier option if you feel that would benefit you more. But it all depends on how strong the love is, because if two people truly love each other, changes will be made. And, with an avoidant, it will take time. It has to be a slow process. They can't just change overnight. It has to be step by step, so it's about choosing the right behaviours every day, regardless of the fear. And that's what essentially this is all about. And actually wrote a song myself in Lake of Dreams called Patterns of Non-Existence, and this is about sabotaging. So I'm going to play the song now for you. It's Lake of Dreams, Patterns of Non-Existence, and it's about, hurting people before they have a chance to hurt you. And it's actually a very big traumatic thing to do after you've suffered sort of like cheating and things like that. And what's ironic about it is avoidants usually happen because of the result of other people cheating on them. And so they kind of have this mentality that they have to then sort of sabotage the bond before they get too close, so they don't get into that predicament of feeling unsafe, and because they don't view love as safe anymore because of the repeating cheating patterns of other women or other men before. Okay, so this is the reason why they do it. It's not necessarily personal. So, like for example, I know that the man that I love and he loves me, I know that, but the actions doesn't mirror that because of fear. And fear is the worst thing that anyone can go through. And sometimes it's because of PTSD, it's because of that, and it's because, in the past that person may have been broken by someone else before, and then decided not to get into an official relationship and just sort of, so it's almost like kind of like, I want to be in a relationship with you because I know I love you, so I'm going to be in one, but at the same time I'm furiously afraid that you're going to leave me, so I'm going to sabotage it regardless. And that's what results in heartbreak for me, but also it's very abusive. But it's also because of fear and feeling that I'm not enough, or this person's going to leave me, or so they're constantly dealing with intrusive thoughts like that, which then makes them act on the fear as opposed to the love. So what you find is that they do feel guilt, they do feel remorse, they hate the fact that they've done this, but it's also finding ways to cope when the fear gets really out of control and where they may get to a point of self-sabotage. Now, there are various toolkits available for avoidance, and there are various things that you can do when you start feeling the fear, but the most important thing is to start to believe in yourself and believe you are worthy of love, and that a person won't leave you, but it is down to your actions and what you decide to do. So for example, if you repeat the process of distractions and treating the woman you love badly, then obviously that will end up with her leaving you. But if you display effort, if you show in your actions, there's no reason for a woman to leave you. So that's my point, is that an avoidant needs to believe in themselves and mirror the right actions. Because if you want loyalty, you've got to give loyalty. It can't be just this person allowing, being able to get with lots of different women and you're being loyal to them all that time. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily to do with the fact that they want to be like that. It can be, it literally is a fear-based reaction because of self-sabotage and an avoidant personality. So you have to almost deal with an avoidant very differently to a normal person. So what's simple for maybe two people that see each other a day and then they go out together and it's very simple, it's not the same thing for an avoidant. An avoidant finds vulnerability very difficult, very hard. So that's why that they usually love you from a distance. This is why people asking about the song signaling and things like that, and this is the reason why, because afraid of being vulnerable. So a lot of the time avoidants can't speak their feelings straight to you because they're afraid of being vulnerable. So until they start feeling safe is when they can do that. But usually you'll find it will be in an indirect way, and they show their love very practically. So that's how they usually show love. It's not necessarily the kind of romantic energy where you would find they would tell you that they love you all the time. It's more to do with practicalities. It's more to do with ways of showing they love you, and that's why there's a lot of song signaling, that kind of thing. So for example, I have a playlist of millions of songs he sent me, and we have had conversations directly through MSN, but you can see there that there's fear of vulnerability, masking, that kind of thing. and I have plenty of evidence to support the relationship, which has already been documented and filed, through third parties and things like that. So it's all evidential based. And, that's the most important thing for people to know, that there is evidence that supports everything that I say as well. Now, let's move on to the women or the men that try to come between two people. So, say, for example, you're in a relationship and that person knows. Let's talk about the types of people that actually do this kind of thing. So you tend to find that a lot of women that do this is because they want to feel wanted. The person that they're having an affair with, sometimes it's not about actually that they're in love with them. It's more to do with using them as fuel for their ego. It sometimes makes them feel more powerful than the woman in the relationship. So there can be this competitive edge that happens. For example, I'm going to give my experience as an example of this. So one of the reasons why I broke the friendship up a while back was because of the competitive edge that she had with me, and everything was a competition. It became very obsessive. She would say to me that she was jealous of my life. She would say things that I couldn't trust her. She didn't let me go into her wedding because she said to me that she wanted to be centre of attention for a change. It was things like this that made me feel quite, like this person really isn't on my side. This is not somebody that I can trust. She's actually told me I can't trust her. She's told me to my face that she's jealous of me, and to the point of where she won't even let me in her main wedding, being her best friend, because she wants to be centre of attention for a change. Now, these are all, key points as to why the friendship broke down. There were certain things that she said, just not liking the fact that I would get attention of men and she didn't, for example. Or, it could be simple as, saying that I didn't have like cellulite on my legs or something like that. And she would even try to come between me and a friend as well, saying that he was a better musician than me, trying to make me feel like her intent was to make me feel small, as if she was somehow better than me in some way, which, let's be honest, I don't compete with friends. I just think it's really insecure and really sort of jealous. So I don't take that on board. I just think it's rubbish. I think a friend should be there to support you, and you should be happy for your friend if things go well. That's a safe friend to have. So say if I gave a friend good news, I'd expect the friend to be like, yeah, well done, amazing, that's so cool. Not be taking it inwardly, and being, so jealous that they're seething that they would want to ruin what you have. So everyone to a certain level may have a little bit of jealousy, which is healthy, but not to the point where they want to ruin your relationships, which is what she essentially has done. And that comes down to lying about me, manipulating my character, and all kinds of things that I'm finding out now what she said about me, which is absolute rubbish. So this is the reason why I'm very, very selective about people that have my life. It's the reason why I have very, very stringent, I guess it's kind of like, for me, it's to do with protecting my mental health and safeguarding myself, because this person is someone who was my childhood best friend. I grew up with her, and to have someone so close to you and then find out that she's hit on pretty much every single partner that you've had in your life, and then to find out that she is actively having an affair with the person that I'm in love with, and he's avoidant, so he's not in love with her, so to speak, but he's just kind of, it's almost like a distraction to stop him from doing the full commitment thing, because he's afraid. And so this is why he self-sabotages. It's not because he's not in love with me, it's because he finds vulnerability very difficult. So these are the dynamics at the moment. You've got one person who is extremely controlling, manipulative, like sort of a narc kind of personality, like she is, because she's married also, but she's also making him feel bad when he blocks her, setting up new accounts, going through mutual friends. It's pretty much like harassment, stalking, and he finds it really difficult because he's a very passive person in the sense that he likes to keep the peace, so he doesn't like to have confrontations because it triggers his avoidance. So that's the reason why. But for me, that puts me in a position where it's very difficult for me, because I want commitment, and she's obviously trying to manipulate. So I've got like a third party manipulation thing going on, which is a safeguarding issue, because she's there to try and destroy my relationship. She's there to target me. She's there to try and hurt me. And really, he should have now the confidence to say, look, I'm going to block her, and we're going to try and repair this relationship. So at the moment, we're kind of in a situation where we're in negotiation, and I'm trying to help him through his avoidance, and try and make him feel safe and things like that. So it's very difficult when you're dealing with an avoidant personality. It's not straightforward like for most people. You're dealing with some really difficult insecurities and fear of vulnerability and things like that, and also there's certain things that triggers their vulnerability. So for me, it's now I am looking at potentially going to the authorities with her treatment, just so people are aware of, but I am going to look at safeguarding myself and him. But obviously me and him need to be on the same page as well, because obviously he is also struggling with his insecurities and his self-sabotaging natures. So we're in the middle of resolving those things. So people wanted to ask what's happening. We're kind of in negotiation phase right now, so we're trying to figure out, the love is there, that's been established, not a problem with that area, but it's now treatment and how he kind of deals with the fear as and when it comes. Because he's afraid of letting me down as well, because he knows that he has these problems with self-sabotage and fear. So it's about now trying to heal that and try to heal how I handle it, what we do going forward, whether he's willing to drop all the distractions. It's all those kinds of things, because for me now it's more to do with safeguarding and making sure that my heart is protected. So for me, it's like, it's really important for me to feel protected and safe in a relationship. So he needs to heal a lot of what's happened, forgive himself and step up and be the man that I need him to be. But I also understand that this will be a step-by-step process. So it will probably be a slow situation. But when when two people love each other, they do the right thing for each other. So I'm hoping that this helps him move into a place of, I need to do the right thing, and be able to sort of conquer his fears and feel, that I want to step into king energy as opposed to, what knight energy, that knight of wands type of thing. So, this is where he needs to step up. But like I said to you, it's all in negotiation right now. And for those of you that are going through this as well, who have been cheated on and things like that, always remember that, you are enough. Just because someone has done that to you, remember these are their issues, not yours. And to make sure that you, find the right support. So, for example, for me, when I found out about it, I was very, very low. But I've sought support and things like that to help me through this. And so now, I'm in a place where I know that I'm doing the right things in order to support me through this difficult situation that we're all in. But for one thing I will say is, it's really important to protect your heart. It's really important to clarify boundaries with your partner and say, look, this is unacceptable. If you want us to move forward, you need to block all your, any sort of like third parties or anything like that, or distractions. You need to now make a commitment and do the right thing, because it's about duty of care. It's about safeguarding. It's making sure that you're doing the right thing by the woman that you say that you love. So, for example, being showing in your actions and things like that. So very, very important. So that's where we are at the moment. And, we're just in a process of negotiation, and hopefully he will choose the right path. And if not, the way I see it, if he cannot, change to be a better man, then I know my worth, and I will find someone that will match my worth. And I'm hoping that he has now the motivation to do the right thing. So that's where we're at. And I hope this has helped those of you that are going through this. And, remember, you are enough and you do deserve a safe relationship. Okay, so just putting that out there. Take care. Obviously, thank you for supporting Ragebreed, Mind, Body and Spirit. Thanks so much. I'm your host, Karina Sher. Good night.
So hopeless, we don't dream anymore. So hopeless, where will we go? Reach out for validation by hurting others, just in case they hurt us. The patterns of non-existence, the patterns of what is real. So hopeless, we don't scream anymore. So hopeless, where did we go? Reach out for validation by hurting others, just in case they hurt us. The patterns of non-existence, the patterns of what is real. again, 'cause I feel like I'm falling down. Help me trust, I won't even ask you why. Help me believe again, 'cause I feel like I am falling down. Make me whole again. Feel every part of me. I will surrender to you. Don't let the pain hurt me. And I feel the wilderness fighting inside of me. Come closer to my soul again. Reach out for hope's mortality. Ah, ah, ah. Breathe into me. I will always be in a trance. You enhance what I feel again. Questions why let hope die, so I will heal again. Make me whole again. Feel every breath in me. I will surrender to you. Just please don't betray me, for I'll feel the emptiness rising inside of me. Come closer to my passion. Let it be for eternity. Ah, ah. Breathe into me. I will always be here. In a trance, you enhance what I feel again. Questions why let hate die, so we can heal again. days seem like hours, always reminding me of what I nearly had, so close to me. I'm waiting to fly away from this place. The years pass me by, memories fading, memories fading. The dream is my love, always connecting me to what I nearly had, so close to me. I'm waiting to fly away from this place. The years pass me by, memories fading, memories fading, memories fading, memories fading. Darkness closes in, I am feeling lost again. I ran through the forest, feeling nature once again. Ooh, the patterns of my mind. When I was left behind, the patterns of my mind. water's coming in, feeling the lake is healing me. I thank the universe, my dreams become reality. Ooh, the patterns of my mind. Ooh, when I was left behind. Ooh, the patterns of my mind. Ooh, it's always wisdom that I find. Ooh, 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 ooh. The day after I am lost, searching for the dignity that I forgot. Walk with me, for this was never real to you. To you. Is it me, or am I lost again? 'Cause I'm lost without you. When you hold me closer and breathe, when the shadows have no place to sleep, and the moonlight seeks dreamers to yield, lost in midnight when the rush of you feels. from this again. Love is from your core. You will be free.
So there are some songs by Lake of Dreams. I thought I would just add before I leave, the last song is about, learning from your mistakes and loving again. And that's called Awake, and healing your heart and, pursuing love that makes you feel free when both are on the same page. Some beautiful songs there. This is part of the Lake of Dreams film. Please do follow Lake of Dreams on social media. There's one at Instagram, which is Lake of Dreams 1111, and also Lake of Dreams page, which is currently on Facebook also. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the music as well. I felt that it was very relevant to what we were discussing, because this is all about, relationships and, a love where the two people aren't together and they're apart. They keep coming back to each other, coming apart, coming back to each other. It's about fear. It's about, this bond where, that they haven't chosen each other yet, but they still come back to each other. And this is about facing your fears and becoming one, and saying goodbye to the people or the person that is interfering in the bond. So it's very, very important for you to understand the most important thing, which is actually love and honouring your heart. So on that note, saying goodbye once more to you all. Hope you've enjoyed this show. I felt it was a nice, balance between some, education, something that's happening in my personal life, and also some beautiful music, which is symbolic of what we have been talking about today. So keep it metal as always, keep it Ragebreed, and remember, check out what we do on www.ragebreed.biz. Good night.